Hey there, wild care friends and family. I'm just going to unmask for a second. I'm going to turn you back over to our executive director, Stephanie Ellis, in just one moment. But this is our last animal live today. In a little while, we will pull our raffle winner, but I wanted to say a very big thank you for all of the amazing donations we've already gotten today. So thank you to everyone that has stopped by or used that PayPal link to help save babies. We are down in our new Jackie room, which Stephanie is going to tell you about and show you some of our current patients and maybe introduce you to a few folks on property too.
Hi everyone, welcome. So this is what we call our Jackie room. It is a newly renovated room at Wild Care, and the reason we call it the Jackie room is because we received a generous donation to renovate the room in memory of Jacqueline Ann Nenner. Jackie was a veterinarian who sadly passed away in 2018, and she had a love for all creatures great and small. And so her mom made a donation for us to renovate this room, which is so important to us, in memory of Jackie. And it used to be our baby bird room, and sometimes we still call it that, but there's not a single baby bird in here right now. It's all baby mammals. And so we're going to show you some of the mammals as we go around the room. I first would like to introduce Leanna. Hello. Hi Leanna, this is Leanna Montgomery, and she is actually staff. She's a seasonal rehab assistant. She has been an intern with us. She was an intern with National Marine Life Center. She is an intern with IFAW, an animal girl all around. And so she has a lot of animal knowledge, and we love having her back. So we're going to follow her around a little bit and see what she's doing.
Just putting in some new food. So we have a nice veggie medley for our squirrels. And then we just have like a bunch of nuts too. So we always, every day we change out their nuts and their veggies and their water. They like to eat.
And so this is a cage of eastern gray squirrels. And just like the baby birds, how there was a 3-step program, there's a 3-step program for the squirrels too. So first they come in as little babies. They might need to be nursed round the clock by our staff and rehabbers. And then once they're weaned onto solid foods, they come out to this room into these large cages. And notice we put a lot of enrichment in all the cages. And this is so the animals feel like they're in a more natural environment. Also, they begin chewing, exploring, climbing. And then these squirrels will graduate to our squirrel shed, which I call the nut house. And then that's where they can really, they have their hide boxes, they start climbing, they start getting angry and behaving like a squirrel. So if you want, you can follow Leanna over there. Leanna, what kind of vegetables are they eating?
Everything. There's some squash, kale, carrots, sweet potatoes, corn, beets, a little bit of everything. So we have lovely volunteers that go shopping for us. Every day you can get us so many veggies because they eat so many veggies. And they eat them up.
Yes.
So no one's out though.
Oh, I see somebody.
Oh.
So notice the wooden box that the squirrel is in. When the squirrels come to this step 2 where they're in big cages, we give them boxes, and these are boxes that they come to love. They become a home because the boxes will be moved into the squirrel shed with them, and then they're actually released from these boxes. We figured out on release day, if we carb load the squirrels, give them lots of corn, they grab the corn, eat, and get really sleepy and go into their box. And that's when we can stuff up the hole, take the box, and then bring the box to a release location. And all of the baby songbirds, by the way, and the baby squirrels, they get what's called a soft release, which means wherever they're released, the box or the babies are monitored and provided food, not hand-fed, but provided food that's scattered, so that they have food resources until they figure out how to forage on their own.
I think they're not gonna come out if I'm still here.
Nice shots of their head, though.
Yeah. So we got a possum down here who's knocked over his little wheel, so he might be little cage there. So I just put out some eggs and some veggies, some water for this guy. Every day we usually give them like a little medley of eggs, veggies, and sometimes fish. And so he's out now, which is nice. Might move that back.
And as soon as we walk away, he'll eat.
Yes. He's a little snappy, so.
And this is great, you guys, because we want them to exhibit that behavior. That's a normal behavior. He will also go out to a very large cage and get ready to be released. Grumpy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, this ear thing was so funny.
And so opossums, for those of you who don't know, they're marsupials, and they're the only marsupial in North America. I feel like we should be very proud of that. Most of the other marsupials are in Australia. And opossums, people think of them as like large rats. They're not a rodent at all. They're a pouched mammal, which is a marsupial. And also opossums are super, super important. They are known to eat thousands of ticks in a season. And so they're thought to significantly decrease the ticks that are in your backyard, which can potentially carry Lyme disease and other tick-borne diseases. So don't hate on opossums. They're very good for us. They're also our backyard scavengers, so they're cleaning up roadkill and cleaning up debris from our backyards. So they're really awesome. Love your opossum. So who's next?
I'm gonna attempt to move this guy so I could change his linens, but he's very dusty. So, I don't know. It might just have to be half changed.
What is it? Oh, he is grumpy.
You can see the squirrel is a little bit upset, but he does need his cage changed.
Do not try this at home. There he is burrowing in there.
So that's basically a holding container so that Leanna can then clean out, either swap the old cage or clean it out and then put all the food in, the enrichment, set it up, and then move the squirrel back. So that's a good method. It's impossible. You wouldn't want to hold a squirrel in one hand while cleaning the cage with the other hand. That would be impossible. So while she's doing that, before she moves the squirrel back, I will show you, these are 3 cages of mice. They're never out. They're nocturnal creatures, and unlike the opossum who comes out for food, the mice don't. So they're all hiding. But what I can show you, and what I'll do is I'll take the top off and then you can come over.
Okay.
We're trying to keep social distance in this room and be conscious of that.
I have my mask on, not to worry.
So if you want to zoom in. So you see in here, so most of the baby mice that come to wild care, I rehabilitate them in my home. And so right now you see there's one young mouse with eyes open who's eating from what we call a mush plate. And a mush plate is basically their formula We mix it with baby cereal so that it's thick. And then they first start sucking on that, you know, then chewing, and then chewing on nuts. And so that's a young mouse who just weaned. Then there's a tiny little skinny mouse in the cup. So this tiny baby came to us, and he's thin. He's eating really, really well and growing. It's really hard to raise teeny tiny mice that age because of their nutrition requirements, and they really need to eat like every 2 hours. And you know, it's physically impossible for us to nurse baby mammals all night, every night. So what we usually do is a late night feeding and then an early morning feeding. So this is my current mouse crew. And we do about anywhere from 50 to 70 baby mice in a year. So if you can imagine,
that's crazy.
It's a tremendous amount of work. In fact, these mice are staying here this weekend because I put them into babysitting. Our animal care coordinator, Jennifer, is babysitting them for the weekend, which is awesome. Mouse break.
Oh, and we're back in.
Oh no.
That was quick, Leanna. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but our squirrel friend is definitely telling us that he's not that happy, which is awesome because when he gets re-released, he won't be too terribly friendly. Ta-da!
Yay, clean cage until tomorrow.
Yes. Or later today.
And later today,
So you can see he's burrowing in here, so all's well that ends well.
and later today, Leanna or the staff will be coming in here and double checking all water, topping off food. Anyone who has soiled their linens badly will be changed. And otherwise, they're all good until this evening. I just wanted to point out that as part of the donation in memory of Jackie Nenner, you'll see we have, the walls are brand new, the light fixtures are new, the floor is new, and right behind Leanna is our brand new refrigerator and microwave. So when we get the second wave of baby squirrels will be coming again, you guys, in August. And we'll be out here hand feeding, nursing babies, and so we can heat up the formula and store formula in here. We also hooked up a sink, and so this room is just so much more functional now, year round. It's really, really an important room. So thank you, Ricky Nenner, for your donation, and thank you to the Nenner family. The babies love it, and so do we.
Okay, thank you, Leanna. Thank you, Stephanie. I'm just going to remind everyone that in a little bit we will pull our raffle winners. So make sure you turn in back to this Facebook page so you can see who won our fabulous basket of goodies. And again, we thank you so much. There's no way that we could do any of this without your generosity and support. So from all of us and from our babies, we thank you so much, and we'll see you in a little bit.